Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode here on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we take on Talladega Superspeedway for race 2 of the first round of the playoffs here. Now after the first race at the all-new Denver Speedway, Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Chandler Smith, and William Byron all find themselves below the cut line, but fortunately for all four of them, they are all single-digit numbers below that cut line, so there's still, well, a lifeline for them. A lot of line talk so far to kick off this episode now as we head into this Talladega weekend. Apologies for the lack of videos here in the last week or so. I had a very busy week as well, a bit of a family emergency, so now everything's kind of resolved. Hopefully we can kind of get rolling here as we are in these target colors with that playoff branding on the car as we go next level racing on board. And I am now excited to as well officially announce my affiliate code with Next Level Racing. Using my code GOIN25, you can get a 5% discount on all Next Level Racing products that you order from sim racing, flight, motion platforms, haptic pads, gaming chairs, etc. A link to my, referral will be down below in the description. As usual, we qualify dead last here in Talladega. Of course, we know it's not really going to matter, as you'll see Zane Smith at the top of the board alongside playoff driver, don't forget, Eric Jones for that front row racing 34. So certainly going to be interesting to see how things play out here, as this is the big wild card race of the entire playoffs, and it's in the first round. Amazon Prime Series, Sage Karam won over Denny Hamlin in Talladega as well. How about that? As you see the rest of the finishing order, and as well the playoffs for the Amazon Prime Series. It is kicking off, and I'm going to start updating you guys on that and Truck Series playoffs in the next episode.
A wild first race to the playoffs heads into what could be an even wilder second race. We're in Talladega for the one and only super speedway race of the playoffs.
There's a very real chance a Final Four contender could have their season come to an end because of today's result.
So then, ready to go racing here from this Talladega Superspeedway race 2 of the playoffs. This is going to be an exciting one, of course. The last time we went Superspeedway racing, Daytona had a big crash there. Of course, it was a regular season finale. Chase Elliott picked up his first and so far only win of the season as we are ready to go racing. Right behind that 48 of Rajah Caruth. Green flag is out, and race 2 of the playoffs in this round of 16 is underway. And it's Zane Smith on the Mustang Ford front row lockout there alongside Eric Jones for front row Motorsports. Now, as we have a lot of work to do, looking at my right rear, that's the number 33 for Richard Childress Racing. Jesse Love had a great start to the playoffs last episode in Denver Speedway, and he finds himself comfortably above the cut line. Going to be interesting though, because when we come to this track in Talladega, it doesn't matter what round of the playoffs that Talladega is in. It's always a wild card race. It's always a curveball. Fortunately for us, we won the regular season championship. We've won several races, 4 to be exact. We've won stages. We've got enough playoff points, and we had a solid run in Denver that puts us in a super comfortable position this weekend in Talladega. Basically, we could crash out in stage 1 and we'll be comfortably above the cut line. Maybe not comfortably above the cut line, but we'll still be above the cut line going into that elimination race next episode, which is at New Hampshire. So I was really glad to get Talladega out of the way early in the playoffs so we can kind of have the round of 12 and round of 8 as well just really play out naturally, and instead of throwing that curveball race into the equation. So that was kind of my idea when we made the new schedule for this season, and I think we're going to kind of keep that going into next season as well. There's Carson Hocevar on my outside. We've gotten past him with help from my other teammate of Noah Gregson. You might have noticed that I had no silly season announcements coming into this episode, but stay tuned because it's going to be like the floodgates are opening going into the next episode and beyond. So stay very tuned for what's to come, because this is the calm before the storm in the silly season as we exit turn 2, using this middle lane here down the back straightaway, just, you know, trying to navigate our way forward. When I find myself in a comfortable points position going into a Talladega playoff race, I have absolutely no issues with jumping out of the inside lane and trying to make something else work as the race goes on, because as we get our first caution of the day, and it's a tire failure. Maybe the 28 there of Bubba Wallace, a bunch of cars right there close together. It was kind of hard to tell who brought out the yellow, but Nick Sanchez currently leads the way. So it looks like, as you can see here, nobody is going to bother coming into the pit lane. So everyone stays out. We get ready. It was Bubba Wallace, can confirm, that brought out that caution with the tire failure. Here we go, ready to restart here from Talladega on this outside behind that number 60. Justin Haley right there in front of us. We have 20 laps of racing in this first and opening stage, so it's a pretty lengthy one as well, and 13 laps to go. And immediately as soon as I saw that, I was a bit surprised that we didn't really have anybody come into the pits, because if we were to pit, we could have made it to the end of this race, or sorry, to the end of the stage. So however, no one comes into the box, so this is going to certainly make things interesting. As we head down this back straightaway, we find ourselves 3 wide middle, got 2 built Submarines Fords just behind myself. Carson Osavar on the inside, looking to my left rear now as we roll through 3 and 4. Chris Buescher, of course, not in the playoffs, alongside all of his teammates at RFK, as I make a bit of an aggressive move 3 wide to the outside, and we're rolling right up to the back there. The 34 of Eric Jones for Front Row Motorsports, a Daytona 500 winner. Don't forget that Eric Jones is a super speedway winner this season. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it again right here. Him, that team specifically, always so strong when it comes to super speedway racing, and this could be the race to kind of turn things around and keep them in the playoffs. But I mean, I say that, but they come into this into the second race of this playoff round above the cut line. So I mean, they had a good enough race basically in Denver, and also avoided trouble. I think that was kind of the main thing for them, as we have now gotten back down to the inside. We're P29 behind William Sawalich as we come to 10 to go on the stage, passing fellow playoff driver Alex Bowman up into P26 at this point, but not really feeling the urgency, not really in much of a rush for obvious reasons. I mean, we come in to this race, I mean, significantly above the cut line, so there's not really much concern. As you see Chase Elliott there lined up with his Hendrick teammate of Rajan Karut. They're both trying to work their way forwards in these final 10 laps of the stage, as I got help from Beard Motorsports 62, Kyle Weatherman in the car there for them today as we continue on behind the 43 of William Sawalich. Looking like we might see some pit stops. Here they go. Elliott's coming in and others as well, as we're going to stay on the racetrack and wait for as long as we can and hope that we're going to get a caution up ahead. It's the 7 of Brandon Jones in the part-time junior motorsports entry, who hits the wall and brings out exactly what we needed. Caution flies here from Talladega. Everybody's going to pit, but all the guys that just hit the pit lane could complete their pit stops, and they are going to be able to stay out here and pass everybody, and that includes Chase Elliott. They're all going to go to the front and go into this lead group of this race. That's going to be crucial for a lot of stage points that are going to, of course, change in just a few laps time, as we are going to give up only 3 positions actually, but look at Joey Logano, Carson Guapel give up significant amount of positions. I said Brandon Jones, I meant Carson Guapel. That's in that number 7 as we get back racing here from Talladega behind that 26 of Nick Sanchez for Andretti Global. Now from this 24th spot, 5 laps to go. Stage points for us is quite an unrealistic expectation, but obviously we can do everything we can to get up there. But of course, being on this outside lane as well, you're in a waiting game to get down to the inside if we really want to go forward quickly. And I was feeling a little bit too confident here, and I jump up to the outside thinking I might have something there of a run. I was hoping to latch onto the draft from the 88, but hold on, here we go, baby. We thought it was going to fail, but here comes a shot from behind. That's the 94 of Parker Retzlaff, GMS winner of this race in the spring, giving us a big push. You're going to notice an immediate audio change there. I had to make some changes that I didn't realize that I needed to make. and we fixed that up. So hopefully I sound a little bit more HD, crisp, I guess I could say, as we head in towards the end of this first stage here from Talladega now, and we continue to reel in the number 11 of Corey Heim now as we're going to jump up to this outside. I mean, we have climbed up into the top 20 now behind the 12 of Zane Smith, who's 3 wide on the outside. We pull back to the middle lane. There's Shane Van Gisbergen. His final super speedway start of his NASCAR Cup Series career for sure. He will definitely not be doing any more super speedways in his part-time races now going forward as we approach the final lap of the stage at this point now. And Chandler Smith up there in the mix after a rough first race of the playoffs, having some issues. Same for William Byron. Rajah Caruth is up there in the 48 as well, as they'll pull down to the inside finally behind Ryan Preece down the back straightaway right here in the mix with these guys in the top 20 with Hocevar. We actually, when we went to the inside, we were able to get past Chase Elliott, Heim as well, forcing it 3 wide right there on the 51 as now Ty Gibbs is out in front, but help is coming to the 48 of Caruth as they exit turn 4 down this front straightaway to the inside. Myself here on Briscoe, and now as well the 2 of Gilliland, but through the tri-oval, the 48 Rajah Caruth through the front straightaway wins stage 1. He takes it on the last few moments there off of turn 4. Connor Zilich all the way at the back of the field. Caution flies and stage points are awarded. Joey Logano P2 below the cut line. Same for Chandler Smith. 2 drivers below the cut line right there just scored stage points. That's going to be big for those guys, but of course they got to put more than one stage together. They got to put the whole race together as we get ready to roll for stage number 2 behind this 19 of Alex Bowman. Now for the Ally Financial Joe Gibbs Racing Camry. We're back underway now. Of course, last season we took that 19 card to the Final 4. Can Alex Bowman do the same thing this season as we head down into turn 1? A few less laps of racing here in stage 2 compared to, of course, the stage 1. Just 18 laps now. There's Chandler Smith 3 wide outside, going backwards early on there. Well, Jesse Love scored some stage points, so a great start to the playoffs for Jesse Love, who we know is going to Joe Gibbs Racing, and likely going to find out which car he'll be in the next episode or 2, but it's like the worst kept secret of this season. Now we know he's going to probably still be replacing Chandler Smith, not the winless driver and the driver that missed the playoffs, Ty Gibbs. Now, of course, Chandler Smith has what? 1 win in his Cup Series career compared to Ty Gibbs, who has several, including a Cup Series championship. Which one makes more sense to you to replace? Now, although Gibbs has had maybe a bit of a rough season, I mean, we expect him to go into season 6 and bounce back. And I mean, here he is running top 2 right now behind the leader of Chris Buescher as we actually go for an aggressive move. Just like that, we're up into P2 in just the first couple of laps of the stage, and we actually managed to get clear of that 54 and immediately bring the fight to the 17 Fastenal Ford Mustang there. Buescher up the racetrack. We go to the inside. Former teammate Gibbs going to give us a push to the lead of this race here in Talladega. Now here comes Taylor Gray as well, as we jump down to the inside to cover that 55 Tricon Garage Toyota Camry now. So we take the lead of this race. The question is now, can we maintain the lead of this race? That's the thing, is these super speedways, they can take me a little while to get up here, but once I get the lead, you know, there's a good chunk of times where we're able to really manage the race from that point and just kind of hang on to the lead as the race goes on. So that's obviously the goal here, and we still got 15 laps to go now, 14 to go in the stage, and you're going to see now, just watching the mirror, as soon as you take the lead on a super speedway, you are just only pretty well watching the mirror now, as in the mirror there's Carson Kvapil into the door of William Byron, the second caution that he will bring out today, and this one will take him out of the race. William Byron, not going to be a fan of that one, of course. He was having a great run in Denver, but comes in below the cut line because he had a tire failure in the late stages of that race. We all stay out and get ready to go back racing. Almost a situation exactly identical to stage number 1. So, I mean, we should not be able to make it to the end of stage 2. I mean, we got 11 laps to go in, 8 laps of field. So we're short by 3 laps. I could have hit right there, outsmarted the AI, didn't even think about it. So even after what just happened in stage 1, it didn't even cross my mind. I just, you know, see what the AI are doing, and as well, I mean, sometimes the AI kind of have those weird moments like that, and it kind of kills all fun when you can kind of just, you know, realize that they made a mistake, and then you just, you know, go and make the call to pit, and then next thing you know, we're riding around the track all on our own after they pit. But there's a very real possibility that we get another caution before we hit that 8 laps of fuel. So that's something we got to keep in mind as well as we continue to defend the lanes. But here comes Taylor Gray with help from the 2 Penske driver of Todd Gilliland Tricon Garage to the front, as we got the 98 of Chase Briscoe to give us a push to the line. Who leads the lap? It's Taylor Gray leading for that number 55 team as we head down into turn 1 side by side, but we got enough help from Briscoe to stay ahead. And then a lap later, here comes the 23 YRB, not so young anymore, Ryan Blaney, coming through the middle there, still seeking his first Cup Series championship in this storyline that started in that elusive 2023 season that Blaney won the IRL championship. There goes the 55 of Gray back to the lead now as well. Blaney back into the mix, of course, and I really do believe that the Final Four is very realistic for Ryan Blaney and that 23 team. They only have 1 win on the season. However, they're the only team outside of myself and Christopher Bell that have been in position to win, you know, 3, 4, 5 races, other than maybe say a Kyle Larson. Around goes the 24. William Byron through 3, gets it straightened out. Tire failure 2 episodes in a row. But fortunately for Byron, this will not take him out of the race, but this will certainly eliminate any chance he had at stage points. And he was running about 11th or 12th. He was right in the battle for stage points, and we got that caution that we talked about that could happen. Everybody pits for tires and field. Taylor Gray has such a bad pit stop. He's going from the lead to outside the top 10. The lead is now back in my hands. The green flag is back out. We got the 31 Rookie of the Year contender, Brent Cruz, just behind. And it's going to be 4 laps of racing to go in the second stage as we look to get 10 stage points, as well as maybe a playoff point here for the stage win that can carry us all the way through to the next few rounds of this playoff. Now, last episode winner, of course, Christopher Bell in Denver. First race at that new speedway, and Bell picks up the win and ties us for the most wins this season at 4. And most importantly for him, he locked himself into the next round of the playoffs now. And as well, we know Christopher Bell's championship run last season started in the first race of the playoffs. He went winless in the regular season last season, and he didn't win until race 1 of the playoffs, and then proceeded to win 4 races in the playoffs on his, of course, just track to the championship. So obviously it's a little bit different this time around. I mean, he's already at 4 wins with that win he picked up there last episode in Denver, but it's pretty clear, it's been evident all season long, it's myself versus Christopher Bell. And keep in mind, I finished second in points last season to Christopher Bell, but obviously it was a completely different dynamic. It wasn't myself versus Bell at any point throughout the season until about the last 2 races. Now it feels like it's been myself versus Bell for 20 plus races this season. And here comes Christopher Bell in that number 20 Yahoo purple and white Toyota Camry. He pulls out a line there briefly and went 3 wide, and that kind of stalled the momentum there with Justin Haley on the outside as we come to the final lap of stage 2. In control, Parker Retzlaff, Spring Talladega winner here. He comes into the mix. Don't rule him out now. I'm not going to be too aggressive on trying to block much here because this inside lane has been working, and we're trying to just think big picture, winning this race, because we've got ourselves in position to do exactly that. 3 wide, here comes Busher and as well as Haley as we go through the center of the corner. Now Connor Zilich into the conversation as well, and now the 94 is not helping me, so we completely lose the run, and there goes to the lead Chris Busher and his RFK teammate of Haley. Zilich at the line. Is he going to get P2 or P3? Hard to tell, but Busher wins the stage. Zilich will be P3. Stage points handed out to just a few playoff drivers. Zilich, Blaney, myself, Christopher Bell, and our teammate of Hocevar picks up 1 stage point. That could be crucial as he had a bit of a slow start to the playoffs so far. He is certainly in need of as many points as he can get. As you see the rest of the order, Byron down in 28th, Love in 27th. Everybody pits again for tires and fuel. We get ready to go green for stage 3. Road 2 outside. Front row, of course, is occupied by RFK, Busher, Stage 2 winner. Justin Haley, who's likely on the way out from this team at the end of the season. Rumor has it Josh Berry could be lined up for that 60 car, as now Connor Zilic going for the aggressive move to the lead, 3 wide into turn number 1. Just over 20 laps to go. New leader, Trackhouse Connor Zilic, who's been as well in the rumors of potentially leaving the team that brought him through the entire sport and gave him an opportunity in his second season, of course, at their team, and he has made the most of it, winning as well at Kansas early in the season and being in great position to potentially win the Coke 600 until things went wrong there fairly early in that race. And here he is in the playoffs, getting off to a solid start. I say that he goes 3 wide to the outside. He's about to plummet down the order. Here comes my teammate of Hocevar to my back bumper, the 23 of Ryan Blaney. We're going to follow him through this group, and now towards the front, Ryan Blaney in that Xfinity Mobile Camry for 2311 to the lead of this race 2027, with all the drama going on between NASCAR and the charters with 2311. Who even knows if this team will be a chartered team on the grid at this point in the storyline of 2027 in real life? I mean, what an unfortunate situation it is there, as we continue now to 20 laps to go, and once again going to the inside. Blaney leaves the door wide open, doesn't matter, cautions out, tire failure for the 51 of Ryan Preece, and this time everyone's staying out again, but this time it actually makes sense, because if we pit now, we could not make it to the end. So everyone's going to stay out, and we're going to run hard here. I mean, we're going to be outside front row. Kyle Busch, by the way, 36. He's having a really, really quiet race, and not a good one either. This is not good. His final playoff run, he's very likely going into New Hampshire in an even deeper hole than he was at the end of Denver. Green flag is back out, and we are racing with 17 laps remaining. Now they're 4 wide, 3 wide actually, sorry, just behind us there in the mirror, wasting no time getting after it. Here comes a 45 Monster Beast Camry of Tyler Reddick. 2 wins on the season for him. We know he's leaving 2311 at the end of the season. Another kind of worst kept secret. It's pretty well a given that he's going to end up at Trackhouse next season, and we've talked about it. A really bad move there, I think, considering kind of the path Trackhouse is on. It feels weird, you know, every time I talk about Trackhouse and them going in the wrong direction when they have gotten every car just about to win this season. 3 of their 4 drivers have won. Look at the help from Hocevar. Junior Motorsports working together. To the lead we go. P1, P2 between myself and the number 4 Brandt Cadillac. Now 16 to go, and what a power move that was. Not from myself, but from my teammate of Carson Hocevar, as we now go next level on board here on lap 51 of 66 now, and now we start to go defense again. It took me a little bit longer than I thought it would take to kind of get back out in front here, but now that we've got the lead, we can kind of start to maintain and control the lanes a little bit now, and you know, not afraid to let that happen. I'm not afraid early on to let a car get to my right rear, not even afraid to be 3 wide, just kind of maintaining this inside lane. That's what's going to keep us in position to win this race. You can get to the front using different lanes. I mean, you saw it earlier. We went from the middle to the top to the bottom. We went all over the racetrack, and we worked our way to the front one way or another. But when you're actually leading, the inside lane is your only option. You just got to keep the car planted down here, and unless it's the final lap, that's when you want to start changing lanes if you got to cover off somebody with a run. Now, of course, if you look behind you and you got 2 lanes coming at the same time with momentum, you got to choose which one to block and hope you block the right one. They're about to be 4 wide behind us now. Alex Bowman coming into the conversation. Hocevar going all the way back. Now he's in trouble as he's going to continue to fade. But the question was, can he get in line and hopefully salvage some track position? Now Gibbs pushing his teammate of Alex Bowman out in front of myself. But here comes Tyler Reddick now. Actually, if Bowman jumps down, which he will, he can cover us off. But we've seen it time and time again that the AI, they love to just, when they take the lead of this race, and it happens at Daytona as well, on the straightaways, they'll just kind of jump up towards the outside wall, which never makes any sense. I hope that's something in NASCAR 25 that's way better is the leader of a super speedway just doesn't jump out of line for zero reason. But now kind of deking out the 19 of Bowman, pulling to the left side and back to the lead again. We want to be in control of this race. We don't know when a caution is going to come out. Well, I don't want to be P2 at timing of a caution and risk starting outside front row. Although it worked out for us on the last restart, it's not a guarantee to work out for us every time. Now, as we have a whole new crop of drivers over the next few moments join the conversation, including playoff driver Ross Chastain, who's been increasingly in the rumors as well of leaving Trackhouse Racing. There is a very real chance they have a 4-driver fresh start lineup next season now as pit stops kick off. Bowman, I saw Logano and others pit as well, and now we have to, of course, consider coming in within the next lap or two. Josh Berry to my outside. Here comes a 24, William Byron, and that's what Haley back there, I believe, that's really off the pace in that 60. As here comes Sammy Smith to my bumper, and it looks like they've gotten that sorted out. He's kind of found some speed again, but the majority of the field just pitted, so we're going to come into the pits here, and we have a lot smaller of a pack, which is you know what I prefer. The less cars you can pit with kind of in this game, the better at super speedways as well. Pull out a line, and I think we're about to really see a lot of separation between the pack now as green flag pit stops within the final 10 laps of this race here in race 2 of the playoffs. It's not going to be 4 tires. No, it's about a can and a half of fuel and 2 right side tires. So that will be enough to get us to the end of this race. The left sides are quite worn, but not to a point where I'm concerned. We'll come out of our pit box here in this Junior Motorsports number 8 Target Cadillac, and we're right in front there of the 27 of Sammy Smith. So the question is, can we get linked up together, as Eric Jones has stayed out all on his own, as I would expect to see him pit this time by, and that 27 is going to hammer our bumper and start to push on us. But of course there's going to be a few more other cars coming with momentum, and I can see, I believe that's Zane Smith and somebody else in the background coming up into the conversation. Can't quite make out who it was, but by the end of the lap, actually, I kind of go below the yellow line a little bit, and that actually breaks myself up with the 27 of Sammy Smith. Fortunately, that's not going to impact us. We take the lead of this race, 7 to go, and if it stays green from here, it's only a 4-horse race to the end. It's myself, Sammy Smith, Zane Smith, and William Sawalich up here on the conversation. All 3 of these drivers have never won a Cup Series race, and now they're trying to dethrone myself. Will it stay like this for the final 6 laps? Here comes the 12 of Zane Smith, looking for the lead to my right rear quarter panel. Sawalich all the way up in the outside wall. In the background, just kind of hanging back there, maybe waiting for the right opportunity as we come towards the end of the next lap, and actually Smith would end up being up to the top, drop in behind even William Sawalich, so he was now down to P4. Connor Zilic crashing in turn 4, and all that separation closes, and the caution flies, and that's big. It's 5 laps to go. We're going to overtime, and some playoff drivers are pitting, Reddick, Logano included. Zilic, of course, I believe Zilic's day could be over, but nonetheless, that is going to be a big points hit to Connor Zilic. And as well, Joey Logano just gave up a ton of track position, and so did Tyler Reddick. Logano needed every point he could get. Those drivers not confident they could make it on fuel, as now we're back underway for 2 laps of racing NASCAR overtime, and Christopher Bell is directly behind us now. And on the outside, I see the 48 of Caruth, the 24 of William Byron as well. In these final 2 laps, can we hold on and get win number 5 on our season? Here comes a 9. Chase Elliott into the conversation immediately. He jumps up to the outside, trying to take that momentum he just gained. Can he get to the lead, as he's got no help from behind? He's going to have to stay put in P3. And Christopher Bell would love to start the playoffs with 2 back-to-back victories now, but we want to make a statement of our own. Bell took the first shot, won in Denver. I want to take the second shot, fire back at him, and win here in Talladega. Off of turn 4, the white flag is in the flag holder's hands as we head down into the tri-oval. Elliott is, pretty well locked onto the back of the 20, but what's going to happen? White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go here from Talladega Superspeedway, race 2 of the playoffs of the round of 16. I see the 48 in the background trying to make a move. He's on the outside of his teammate of William Byron as we exit turn 2, and nothing is really forming, which is perfect for myself himself. Bell now trying to change lanes. He's bringing the 9 with him. It looks like Elliott's going to commit to the back of the 20, so we have to keep that in mind as we head down into turn 3. They stay to the outside. What do we do now? Here comes 3 lanes. Now it goes back down to 2. Here comes one of the RFK machines, and now Bell and Elliott commit to the wall. What do? We jump up an aggressive block late. They check up. We cover the 60 of Haley into the tryover for the final time. We have no help. We just have to hope the 20 doesn't get here to the checkered flag. We win in Talladega. Christopher Bell P2. What a finish. Alex Bowman came into the picture right at the end as well. I don't know if you noticed it in the rearview mirror. He was flying. What a finish. Win number 5 of the season for Junior Motorsports. It was a questionable move to come to this team, but it has certainly been answered that it was the right one, because we have now picked up our 5th win of the season, and we continue to go back and forth head to head with Christopher Bell as the clear 2 favorites to win this championship now, and both of us are officially locked in to the round of 12, but we're not done yet. I want to go into the next race in New Hampshire, a track I feel like we've got a lot of speed at, and I want to win there as well. As you see the rest of the finishing order on your screen, Chastain in P12. Look for some notables. Kyle Busch in P19, Jesse Love 24th, Reddick in 23rd, Blaney down in 29th, Logano P31, what could have been there, Zilich in 35th, Chandler Smith in 33rd, Kyle Larson, terrible finish there in P37, still looking for his first win of the season after injury and missing the playoff grid. Myself and Bell locked in. How about Rajah Caruth, who's really stepped up in this first round, won the stage 1 today. He's actually the top driver on points over still Tyler Reddick and Love, but the 4 drivers out, Eric Jones, Kyle Busch, Logano, and Chandler Smith. Logano could be in right now if he didn't pit at that final caution, but he's now out by double-digit numbers. Zilich, the last driver in. Byron claws his way back in as well, but it's going to be close. Hocevar, Byron, Zilich there, 15, 14, 13 points. Those are the guys to pay attention to in the round of 16 elimination race next episode in New Hampshire. I'll see you guys then. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.